God. Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay. Yeah, this is all very last minute, so we're kind of getting everything set up very last minute, including like last minute research on my part. I beg for your patience as we get all set up and organized. Dear God.
Make sure the mic is on.
It is, and I made sure it's up to the correct mic as well. Okay.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're live. Technically, we were a minute behind going live. Okay. Oh, you need to be talking.
Well, I'm short. I mean,
If anybody's in the comments, please tell us how our audio is. I see a little monitor going up, so I think we're good.
I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure this shit out, so.
That's muting ourselves. Okay.
Huh?
I was just saying, like, that was muting ourselves, but we're not muted right now, so.
Okay. Who's on here? Say hi so we know who you are.
Yes. I forgot it. Wait, we got a like already. That's good.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Hold on. I got an earbud in my ear. I can't hear out of one ear. Fine.
Oh, she is.
Can you hear us?
It's just us right now. Oh, wait, there is another person. Participants, pop out chat.
If you can hear us, say hi so we know that we actually like.
Yeah, say something in the comments, please. Make sure our audio is actually picking up correctly. That would be nice.
Hand me one of the lip glosses on the shelf. No, I have to have lip gloss when I'm sitting here. I'm just saying. We're like getting organized right now.
I'll get you the pretty red one that you like.
Ooh, this is actually good, although it looks orange because you know lights.
Oh dear God.
Hmm?
Can I edit this in midstream?
Why are you gonna edit it?
See if I can make sure that our audio and everything's on the right one.
Look at that thing down there. It should tell you. Look.
Oh no, that's just what. Your phone is using a microphone. It doesn't say what microphone though. Okay, so what are we here to talk about?
Okay, so hold on one second. Let me do something right quick.
Oh, look at that. She's a genius. I'm not.
Yeah, okay. We have sound. Okay.
So we sound good?
Yeah, we sound fine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so there have been a lot of questions in the whole people questioning KJ about her behavior and all that in that community about her husband and his videos. And oh, that's better.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah.
Ish.
No, the white balance is great. You actually don't look like you're pale right now. You look like you have color, but you're not orange to make you look like Trump.
Well,
and that's the struggle. Either she looks so pale that she's a ghost, or the white balance is off and you're orange like Trump. This is not the case.
I'm not about that. Okay. So there have been a lot of people talking about KJ and her husband and his music and his music videos and whether or not. Okay, so he's pagan.
I'm not sure if he's Odinist or Satru, folk or universal.
He said that he identifies as heathen. Which is in the same kind of area as a Satru. From what I understand, I am not a Satru. I am pagan, but I am not.
I am a Satru.
He's a Satru. So I said, well, hey, we have an Asatru dude here who, you know.
And to clarify, for everybody else who's a Satru, Odinist, and all that other stuff, I'm a Universalist. So that means even if you're not of Germanic, Scandinavian, Old Norse blood, you can still follow the faith. And that's cool with me. Focus are, if you're not of the blood, you can't be of a religion. I'm a Universalist, so no matter what your blood, I'll accept you. To clarify.
Okay, so I figured since we have someone here who can answer those questions, why not have him do so? Because a lot of the time Christians or non-pagans will look at pagan things and be like, oh, that's Satanist stuff, or that's evil because there's a skull, or whatever. And it's actually not. Um, it's just a different religious path from what they happen to have, and they don't have an understanding of that. They're on the outside looking in with very little education or understanding of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, can we not put water on my laptop, please?
How am I supposed to do that?
I love you. Like for me, for example, when I look at the Eucharist, I'm creeped out. I'm like, what?
Vasist.
Eating the body of Christ and drinking the blood of Christ
Oh, the mass. Okay.
is very odd.
Strange ritual.
So, and
spread the mayonnaise. I'm sorry. I heard that in a video.
Spread the mayonnaise.
Spread the mayonnaise. It is my seed. I'm sorry.
I'm suddenly very uncomfortable. Okay,
I'm very sorry.
All right.
I may not show it in my face, but I'm very sorry.
On point. So I asked. Oh Lord. So I asked Marcus to look at KJ's husband's music videos to see what he thought of them, and
well, he's got a 5-minute and 15-second preview of an album that was published back in October of 2019. His album was supposed to be released in 2020. I didn't actually go looking for it. I just listened to the album preview and then to the one song / music video that he has up on his YouTube, which is for the song Father. And in all the preview, the only thing that I guess that's the point of a preview, is to get you kind of peeked into figuring out exactly what the song is about. The only song that I actually had a couple of questions on was the third song in the album, The Child and the Serpent, because there was a line that kept repeating parasite, and I was confused as to what was that in context to, a parasite. And then also weak-willed was said a couple of times. Still confused as to who the reference is to. Who has weak will? Is it the individual listening to it? The person? I'm not going to dive deep into it until I actually go and listen to the song at some point, I guess.
Yeah, but the main thing was the video. A lot of people were saying, "Oh my God, there's like a goat skull or something in it," and I saw nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, that goes into both cultural and religious sentiment. You understand this, being of Native American heritage. Nothing is put to waste. Everything is utilized, from the hoof down to the antlers and everything in between and inside. Everything has its purpose. Everything's used. And so the skulls, if they weren't used for whatever else you can use bones for, they were used as ornaments, decoration, and whatnot. Sometimes they were put on altars to honor said animal.
Or like a god might be attached to that animal to honor the god.
Associated with, yeah.
And even in ancient Egypt, they would take the animals that were associated, like every animal had a god or goddess they were associated with, and they would basically sacrifice that animal and mummify it. That's why you have animal mummy cemeteries in Egypt, which you just not that long ago found a huge one. And for them, that was kind of a big deal. Those animals were treated with high respect and well taken care of. I think understanding what the word sacrifice really means, like the meaning of the word, and then also in the larger cultural context would be a good idea. But apparently her husband found like roadkill or something, and that's how he got the skull. Which, I mean,
it's very gang.
being from the north, that happens. People find roadkill and they're like, oh, look, skull with antlers and shit, and it looks cool and whatever. Doesn't mean it's satanic, is what I'm saying.
Being from the South and having family that goes out hunting occasionally and associating with weird people while doing so, people pick up roadkill. People pick up roadkill squirrels, clean them, cook them, and eat them. Yeah.
That's not a good idea, I don't think.
And to explain just how local that was, actually in Avondale, I was hanging out with a friend, and his neighbor walked in with 2 roadkill squirrels. He was going to go, it was on his way to clean them, cook them, and eat them.
If you want to bring back the plague, then, you know. So grab your bag of rooms. Because okay, so I know that certain horrifyingly bad people who are really just scumbags, you can grab mine, they're right there in the red bag, took runes and symbols from different cultures and used them for nefarious reasons, but to a lot of, I guess, neo-Norse pagans, just to, you know, as a large group. I don't want to go through all the different names. Hi. Speaking of the kitty goddess.
Kitty, love you. Go away. Thanks.
A lot of neo-Norse pagans want to take back those runes because they are sacred. They have sacred meanings, and they should never have been used by those horrible people ever. Don't drop them on the desk so big. It makes a loud noise on the mic.
Yeah, I forget it probably peaked the mic.
So where I just saw it. It just like winked at me and then went away. Hold on. Alright, so a lot of these runes, like, yes, they were used by super bad people in World War II. Don't click them on the desk. It makes a loud noise on the mic.
I was just pointing out one that was commonly.
Yeah, that's one. But there's another one that I saw a meme about that I wanted to point out. What am I doing now? I can just do it on your phone. Maybe. I don't know. You have. I don't think that was your.
It probably was. If there was the Elder Futhug, it probably was on my set.
I think it might have been this one.
Oh yeah, that's the one was in the music video.
All right, so you know a lot of.
Is it because it looks like a fish?
I don't know.
It kind of looks like the old Christian fish.
Kind of. So yeah, a lot of neo-pagans are trying to take those symbols back, away from. I can't say the word. WS, if you catch my drift, and retake them and make them positive again. I cannot say if that is what her husband is doing, but I am pointing that out because I've known a lot of Odinists who despise any kind of racism, sexism, any of that. Same with Asatru, people who are Asatru, heathens. You know, they feel like those bad people during World War II really disrespected the old Norse cultures. Is that what he is doing? I don't know. But just so you understand that there are a lot of people out there who are not WS and don't want to be associated with that, like my husband, who is part Peruvian. He is Hispanic.
Physically cannot be a bigot.
Oh, I mean, anyone can be a bigot.
Oh, true. Okay. I can't deny the fact that I am not of pure blood.
But your brother would probably come down here and whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
With her shoe.
It should also be noted, according to my abuela, my bisabuela, my great-great-grandmother, so her grandmother, was, in her words, and I know this term can be offensive to some, but this comes from an old Peruvian lady, mulatto, which means mixed,
European,
generally terms mixed. She was
European, African, possibly indigenous. I mean, your umbrella said that you guys are like basically half, was it Maya or Aztec? I don't
I think
remember.
it was the Mayas that were in South America was the Mayans.
Okay. Yeah. And I have met her. She's wonderful and I miss her.
Who seems to be recovering well.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so there were a lot of questions, and for those people who don't have a lot of experience with paganism or with a lot of the Norse beliefs, what have you, Norse music that's coming out now, like there's some really good bands out there. Highland. I always pronounce the name of that band wrong. Amazing music though, and they start off their concerts, which are more like rituals, with like we are all connected, we are all brothers and sisters. Like they have this thing that they say.
And whenever they're in whatever country they're in, the indigenous population there, they get them if they have non-normal practices. Like in America, they get people from the Native American tribes cultures to come and do a bit of their own practice on
the opening ceremony and other stuff, which is really cool. Because most people just ignore indigenous people.
Right. But that's a big part of Osatru, is acknowledging, well, I'm not sure of Odinism, but I know for sure in Osatru, is paying homage to the native land spirits. And the best way to do that would be getting the people of the native cultures from the native spirits to come and help with paying respects to them.
Right. So, yeah, like I watched the video and I didn't see anything that was weird. I saw that a guy who, I'm not a Satru, but the guy had the patch over the one eye and he had
Odin.
Right. So
Woden, however you want to say it.
So, and Odin, isn't he called the All-Father also?
Yep, the God King.
So the name of the song is Father, right?
From what I could tell from the song, it was more of a calling out. It kind of seemed like whoever was the inspiration behind, whoever wrote the song, was inspired by a lack of feeling of the faith. They were calling out for the Father to return. The Father being the All-Father, Odin. They were calling for him to come and return to the world, which, and I can kind of back because it'd be really nice to see a lot more Old Norse influence in today's culture. I mean, people won't think that the Old Norse Vikings were just raiders and rapists and
ours, you're not supposed to say
the word. Ours.
Yeah.
And just savages, but they did raid. Those who did commit the vile act were severely punished, in truth, usually by castration. Yeah. And from my understanding of how the religion actually died out, as some people would say, was through religious bureaucracy, politics, and the last bastion of the Norse Theosophy, the Odinist faith, was actually blockaded on all sides. So it was either convert or die out. Literally starve to death. That was their options, either convert or starve to death.
And that's really, when you think about it, that's still happening right now with indigenous cultures. I am part Cherokee. Right? And what does colonization do to an indigenous, indigenous group?
Because it's colonization.
I mean, people might marry into white families, and maybe somewhere in their mind hope that their children will look more white and therefore be more safe. Hi. I mean, I'm basically what colonization can look like over time. But then also the religion suffers, the language, the arts and crafts, the traditions, the connection with the land, and just so many different things.
The entire aspect of the culture as a whole.
Yeah. So, and right now, I mean, you don't hear about it in the news, but indigenous cultures are having a hard time right now with the pandemic that's going on. But nobody ever talks about that. They don't ever talk about the fact that indigenous cultures in America and Canada and other places, the indigenous cultures are the only people judged by a blood quantum level.
And to make that more of a fact, people who are card-carrying members of any Native American culture are wards of the federal government.
It's complicated, but basically that's what it breaks down to.
What it breaks down to. You'll see how they did everybody else in the country who's not a billionaire or owns a huge corporation, how they treated all of us. Imagine how bad their wards got it, who are so few in denomination.
And what, in the 70s? I think it was still in the 70s. They could take indigenous children away and put them in orphanages and whatnot, and boarding schools, to,
Make them more American.
well, it's an old term. What was it? Kill the Indian, save the man, or whatever.
Yeah,
BS like that. So, no, I am not a Christian. I will never be a Christian. I will never convert. It will never happen. I am pagan. And I'm just trying to hopefully bring some understanding of what maybe we can take this negative and turn it into a positive and say, look, is KJ really bad in her behavior? Yes. Does she have stalker-like tendencies? Yes. Let's focus on the things that are actually important. Her husband's religion, really, it doesn't matter. His video, I didn't see anything questionable or negative or bad in it. Did you?
No, I will say the whole night to the temple thing
was
was a little weird, and then
weird.
playing with it, like tuning it on his finger too. It's a weird choice for a music video. But I mean,
was he maybe referencing something in I forget the name of it now, the sagas or whatever? Do you know what I'm talking about?
But the Eddas?
Yeah.
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, I don't know, but whatever. I mean, I didn't see any Satanism in there, and even what most Christians think of as Satanism, when people do that, that's just a backlash against Christianity. All of the modern Satanists that I know, they don't believe there actually really is a Satan. It's a philosophy. It's kind of like atheism or whatever. There's no like, I mean, if there's a religious like sacred space near me, I'm probably going to visit it. So I've been to mosques, Hindi temples. Oh Lord, I'm trying to think. Different denominations of Christian churches, synagogues, ritual spaces of various kinds. And that does include like OTO, there are a couple grottos, I think they're called, modern Satanist places. Never seen anything that made me be like, these people are, I need to call the cops. Like, never seen anything like that in a Satanist group or anything like that. I am not a Satanist, but I'm just saying.
In my opinion, in my experience, I'm pretty sure you can agree to it. They're a lot more polite and a lot more friendly than most Christians are. And not in a creepy, luring kind of way. I mean, in a genuine, these people are pretty nice kind of way.
I've never experienced love bombing or any of that except there was one particular denomination of Christianity. And I was like, no. No. And that was a denomination of Christianity. I don't even want to say which one, but that was one that other denominations denounce. So I'm just saying, like,
Oh, does it start with an M?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm thinking of the polygamists.
I've never, well, I take that back. I have had a run-in with, that was weird. They tried to, they were looking at me and I was like, fuck no.
Talking about the old grannies?
No.
Okay, because I'm thinking about the old grannies and your friend who was doing his job in the backyard, and then he scared him.
No. This was out. Actually, in the sheriff's department, this guy was working there. He was like in the academy. It wasn't even like full hire yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept coming into my courtroom and talking to me, and his wife came up and brought me food, and I'm like, what? And it was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So then I wore my ankh, and I wore my feather earrings, and I had to get permission to do that, which if you were Christian and you want to wear a cross, you don't have to get permission. Just saying. But I was making it painfully obvious that I am not ever going to convert to.
If anybody in the service sees this, and you happen to be of the Kemetic faith, please let me know. Can you wear ankhs in the service now? Because I remember I went into MEPS and I had an ankh necklace, and they told me I couldn't wear it.
I thought that was one of the accepted.
Mm-mm. I saw true. After I enlisted.
Well, I know they like on gravestones they allow pentacles now.
Oh, that yellow ankhs.
That's one of the oldest symbols in human history. One of them.
It's not Christian. Thanks, America.
I don't want to offend all Christians everywhere, but more than likely the cross, as you know, it comes from the ankh.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely. But that's even older. It's an old symbol.
Yeah. So another thing that you brought to my attention was apparently the recording studio that he was with was in AWS or.
It's thought to be. I think there's an article or something out about it. I have not read that. I didn't.
Right. So the only recording studio that I could find that he was associated with, and this was in the October of 2019, 5 minute 15 seconds promo of the album was being.
I don't know if that's the same.
It might not be, but I'm just covering out the one that I know right now. It's called Bind Rune Recordings. I'm not sure if that's what they're talking about, being the WS recording studio. They're not. 100%. They are not.
From what you can tell.
From what I can tell.
You just did a very basic look at it, so I would say err on the side of caution.
Right.
Because WSs can be sneaky.
Sure. Best. I love you, Kitty.
You're going to have to clean off a spot for her to lay down. She's not going to be happy till she can lay down.
At some point, I'm going to pick the runes back up. So Bind Rune Recordings holds like a band camp. They say it's band camp. It's basically an online concert by some of their artists all over the world called, oh God, where is it? Overgrow to Overthrow. The implications of that name are kind of confusing until you start reading the description, and they are literally in description of every time that I looked up Overgrow to Overthrow, Bind Rune Recordings, whether it was WS or racist or anything, they always came up with anti-racism. A very anti-racist, anti-police brutality. The second song on the most recent Overgrow to Overthrow was Doom, Final Hour. And it was specifically made by the artist, and they quoted this, the no Trump, no KK, no KKK, no fascist USA mix. So they took their song Doom Final Hour and remixed it to make it extremely anti-racism, anti-police brutality.
Well, we'll have to look up that article and see if that's like the same place he was signed. Like, I don't know. Like, I just saw this stuff like yesterday, and I was like, well, I mean, shit, we got two pagans right here.
Mm-hmm.
Why not look into it and see what we think?
Right.
So, when I watched the video, I didn't see anything that made me think this dude's off the hinges or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a KJ supporter.
Nope.
We know this. But I'm not going to lie about it either, or her husband, or what have you.
Okay.
Now, she's been saying that he's not like a public person, da-da-da. Yes, he is. He's in a band. He was signed. He has videos out there.
I do. There's only 4 videos.
He's a public person.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, he's put himself out there.
Mm-hmm.
But as a pagan, I don't like seeing other pagans
Attacked.
and their religion, their spirituality attacked. It's not right. It's not the right way to go. And there are other things that are going on that are way more important.
Mm-hmm.
So let's focus on let's dispel all the BS. Here are two pagans right here. And I know there's another one who was like, hey. So there are many different kinds of paganism.
Think of it as the umbrella term. Like Christianity is an umbrella term for all of you different subsects of Christianity.
Right. And pagan just means non-Christian. So Hindi people could be considered pagan, right? Because it just means non-Christian, really. So, and witchcraft is an old term, very old, and it's not evil.
Right.
Anyone who told you that was selling you a load of goods. There are so many really good books out there right now. It's easy to educate yourself up on it. You don't have to practice it. We're not saying that you need to convert and accept the goddess as your savior. We're not saying that. For me, all the gods and goddesses are concepts anyway. I don't think they like actually exist, like up on a cloud telling you where to find your keys. That's not. No.
Or up in the cloud with a bolt of lightning ready to strike down anybody that tries to touch your scooter when you're at a Christian venue.
Just saying. No. I'm not trying to convert anyone, but I'm also just trying to say, hey, everyone is allowed religious freedom and freedom from religion also in this country. So Christians, if you're a Christian, great, fine, wonderful. If that fulfills you and makes you happy and gives your life meaning, wonderful. I'm happy for you. Please don't try to push your religion off onto anyone else. Most people do not like it when they're proselytized to. I do not like it. I don't want it. I'm not going to accept it. I will walk away. I have ended friendships over that. Good friendships, but I'm just like, no. But that one person, oh Lord. I think he was trying to make me a second wife or something, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen.
Nothing against polyamory.
No, at all.
Or poly as well.
Yeah, no, nothing against that. But I'm never going to be a Mormon.
I asked him to start with them.
I think I want to say they were, I can't remember. This was a while ago. But no, I'm never going to be in any Christian sect or subsect or whatever. It's just never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Out of respect for my ancestors, it will never happen. So, yeah,
I've recovered from Christianity.
I was raised to do my own thing. All right, so anyone want to ask any questions, say anything? People usually come in like around the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, it seems to.
I've noticed.
I don't know, what do you want to talk about? What's grinding your gears?
Oh, Lord. I mean, do we have like a week?
I mean, technically, yes.
Oh my God. There's so much. There's so much. I think KJ just needs to get off the internet for like a week or two, take a vacation, dude. Go to a day spa if there's one open. I don't know if there are any open.
There probably are in
She
certain
probably-
parts of the country.
She probably has the money. She should go to a day spa for like a weekend, a long weekend, like a week or two, and just chill.
Just put duct tape over her mouth the entire time.
Duct tape hurts though when you take it off.
She deserves
Uh,
it. At the very least.
I don't know. I don't know what to think at all.
Mm.
I don't know. I just hope that people will stop. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I don't know. I hope that people will stop going after the paganism point or the heathenist point and the runes. Runes are not inherently evil. It's just
Fuck the Nazis. Fuck them.
yes. I don't feel sorry about that being said right there at all.
Fuck them and all the bullshit that they did that set us all through back
I
by at least 70 years.
mean, more like probably 100.
Probably.
Really. But that video of that Nazi dude getting punched in the face, I watched that so many times and laughed so hard. So hard. That made me so happy in so many different ways. Like there were so many different levels of joy. Touch the thing. I'm gonna play this game when we're done here. Yeah, so I have no problem with Nazis being punched and knocked out.
I hope they got a concussion.
No, he had a whiny little pity party. I mean, that's what narcissists do, right? Anything they can possibly use as a pity party, they will. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Woe is me.
Oh my God. You're mean to me, even though I'm mean. That's
Get in
KJ.
the bag, get out of the kitchen.
That's KJ right there.
Mm-hmm.
She did some really mean, heinous things. She did those things. I just can't even imagine. I can't imagine being her neighbor. I don't even understand. It's pretty amazing. Do we have... Hold on, let me... We have 2 people in here.
I think one of them is us.
Oh.
What are you doing?
That's a pretty great kitty. She's so pretty. She's gonna start looking at me like, why am I not over there with you?
You want to go get your mama? You went down. And just to sit right there.
Yeah, she likes a blanket.
Yeah, but the cat like the blanket. The blanket on the desk.
Half
Yes.
of our desk is taken over with a blanket for the kitties.
Yep.
Specifically. So we'll put that over there. Yeah, so I don't know. You know, just because somebody has a religion that's different from yours that you're not experienced with, you haven't seen before, you don't understand it, doesn't mean that it's negative or evil. You know, and I don't know, I just hate the fact that WSs are trying to, yet again, usurp an old ancient religion and use it for their own BS.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it goes into people being conditioned to be paranoid of other cultures, other Christians by nature.
Mm.
I'm just me, myself. I was naturally curious by nature, even though it was kind of attempted conditioning to be paranoid by nature.
So I didn't have any of that. I was not raised Christian. I was allowed to go to any churches I wanted to, but especially my grandfather, he went through a process, and my mom had a term for this. It was the cult talk, because she went through it too. Because you got to think, when she was younger, she had the Manson family happen and Jonestown and all that stuff from that. So my grandfather was on it. He was on it, and he sat her down and explained brainwashing and all that stuff to her, and was like, "No, if you ever go into anything like that, I will burn the world down." And I got the same talk, but I got it almost worse because he was retired by that point. So he had nothing but time to sit there and explain things to me. And I was like, I don't want some minister, telling me that I am inferior because I'm a woman. I'm just not, I don't accept that. Just all these other things that I don't agree with. And I actually had one church. There was one church that was,
They forced baptism on you.
Lord, that solidified my nope, never gonna be a Christian.
Yeah.
That was horrible. That was a horrible experience. Terrifying.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I got baptized. It wasn't because I felt the calling for it. It's because my sister got baptized and she was the favorite. And so I wanted to be seen in the same light as she did. That's the only reason I got baptized. I've never felt a calling to Christianity. It was simply to fit in.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I love you.
Yeah. And then first ex-fiance happened, and I completely said, fuck Christianity. And the whole rationality behind that was, why would a God make a plan for you that involved getting so hurt and betrayed?
Yeah.
So all this, your fate is lined out before you, BS, is ridiculous before me. It is ridiculous to me. I believe in the weird. Everything you do, everything that people do around you, all the choices that they can and will make lead to different points in a web. That's what I believe. That's what the weird is to me.
I think it's just country seem to be kind of just weird. Odd. Okay, odd. Jeez.
To clarify,
Damn.
when I said weird, the spelling was W-Y-R-D.
Yes. So things are really odd in the country right now, to say the least. I don't even know what's going on
That's
right now.
putting it lightly. To say the least is putting it lightly.
Right. And I'm so irritated. Okay, I know I look white. Look at me. I look white. I know this. But part of me is like, can I just go to the res and find a hidey spot among a bunch of trees and live out there and just act like most white people don't exist? I don't know. It's a weird thing that happens.
I just want a long house. That's all I want. Just a long house. Everything ground. That's what I want. Steve you there.
I think it would be neat to have a reproduction of the Temple of Luxor built here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would.
There's already a reproduction of what was it?
Parthenon.
Parthenon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the temple to Athena, which the pictures are amazing. I have to go there someday. I have to visit. have to. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get many people on here today,
I don't think so.
but it will still be out there. So
Mhm.
hopefully people will watch it and understand that we're not coming from a place of hate or judgment. We're just looking at the video, um, and I understand being angry with someone and not liking the things they do and feeling a certain kind of way. I get that. I get that. But you know, I didn't see anything negative.
Well, I didn't see anything negative or offensive in the music video, nor did I hear anything offensive or negative in the music. As far as the lyrics.
Was there anything else you wanted to say? You're a Satru. I'm not. I can't. I can comment a little bit, but not. It's your path.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if anybody's got specific questions as far as like my understanding of Satru, sorry, I have a weird habit of saying that with an accent.
Because he's goofy.
Anything that has like an accent insinuated in the spelling is I use the accent.
All right.
It's like an A.
Right, but did you have anything more to say about his video and all of that?
Kudos.
But sometimes us pagans, we get happy when we see pagan stuff. Like
Mhm.
I'm not even in one of the old Norse religions, and when I hear that Highland music and see the videos and stuff, I'm like, it is so wonderful.
Part of that's probably synesthesia.
That too, yes. Amazing music.
Have we told them you have synesthesia yet?
I don't think so. I've been sticking to topics.
So I guess this is an off-topic video then.
I mean, we can talk about whatever we want,
Sure. This is your channel, so technically we'll talk whatever about you want. Do you want to tell them about your synesthesia?
I don't know if most people would even understand what it is.
Right. So, in layman's terms, synesthesia is a neurological condition in which the senses have blended. So, what you hear can translate into colors, pictures, designs, tastes, smells, sensations of the skin. Likewise, what you smell can turn into a taste, or basically any way that your senses can interact with each other, they can and will.
Some people will see they'll see colors associated with numbers or letters or days of the week. Like they'll have things with there's just a lot of different ways it can present. It just means you're not neurotypical, and it's not like a disorder.
Right.
You can't take a medication. I wouldn't want to take a medication to make it go away, because then to me, because it's normal to me, this is normal, right? I see sound. So to me, it would be like I would be partially vision impaired.
It would be the equivalent of her being colorblind at that point if she did not have her synesthesia.
Right, like suddenly colorblind.
The world is dull. There's a lack of vibrancy. Like
if I'm depressed, I don't see the colors as well, and it just makes me more sad. So, So yeah, I have synesthesia. I didn't see any colors from his music.
No offense to the artist. Personal opinion. It honestly wasn't. The vocals could be louder.
It just wasn't. I mean, you can tell with production quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if there was or was not, whatever. Like there was something missing. I don't know what. But that doesn't say anything negative.
Right.
Necessarily.
And I'm honestly kind of confused because it didn't seem like he was really sticking to any particular genre of music. The first one was basically unintelligible metal screaming.
He said it was black metal or death metal or.
Right. So that was the
don't
first
remember.
song. And then the second song is like chanting almost. Like normal voice, soft chanting.
And there were people who said something about him doing rituals in his yard, scaring people or something. There's nothing wrong with a pagan person doing rituals in their yard.
Right.
I have been known to go out in my backyard and do rituals out there or whatever. But I'm in New Orleans and people here, they're like, okay, do you need something to drink? Want some wine? Yeah. Like,
I mean,
Dawn, my neighbor, asked me that one time. She's like, do you want some wine with that? But
yeah.
it's
By
not-
comparison to voodoo, her rituals are a bit tamer.
by comparison
Nothing
to
against,
voodoo,
huh?
by
By
comparison
comparison to
to
voodoo.
voodoo's a whole different thing, kind of.
This, from my understanding, and this is not harping or attacking voodoo.
No, with voodoo, usually there's a good deal of drumming and
hmm
whatnot.
It's a bit more exciting than what her
Way
rituals
more.
usually are.
Mine is usually very meditative and whatnot. And like, and it depends if I'm on what I'm doing too. It just depends.
My idea of a Salter ritual would be more on the lines of what a voodoo ritual was like. Drumming, dancing, singing. Essentially just having a good time.
I mean, yet again, it depends on what I'm doing. So for me too, I mean, there are times when you need a good drummer just beating the hell out of a drum and blowing off that steam, right? And that's where I think that's really what a lot of rituals are, just blowing off steam and or focusing your mind and your will on something. And that's what prayer is too, right? So for Christians, when you pray, that's really not all that different, or when you have mass or whatever, it's really not all that different from what pagans do with rituals. It's really not. A lot of Catholicism comes from paganism.
At its core, you're right. But it is drastically, like, unless you're Southern Baptist, but by a large comparison to most of the other Christian subsect religions, it is a lot more calm and is a lot more controlled.
Well, I mean, that's what Catholicism did. They went in, they took the pagan like rituals and all of this and that and ceremonies and whatnot, and they made it more like homogenized and like restricted for the masses. Where you sit, and I went to a Catholic wedding one time, and I was so confused. They sit, stand, kneel, sit, stand, kneel, this, that, and I'm like,
don't forget the cheat code.
the what?
Cheat code. You put your hand in the holy water, pauses the game, up, down, right, left, and you're forgiven all sins. That's the cheat code. Y'all don't know?
Okay.
Pause the game by putting your hand in the holy water, up, down, right, left, sins forgiven.
I haven't heard that one before.
I told you that one before.
I don't know. Personally, I find all the different various and sundry different kinds of pagan rituals and whatnot that I've been to are so much like fun, and there's usually a lot of joy, unless it's like someone, then it's a bit more somber because you're remembering those people who passed away and you're remembering loved ones who passed away. But even those were kind of celebrations of life at a certain point. So it's, I don't know. I am pagan. Which really just means non-Christian.
Yeah. To clarify, Soin spelled Samhain.
Is it? I was, don't even try asking me.
Yeah, it looks like Samhain, but it's pronounced Soin. Not Soin, Solwyn. S like a O-A, Solwyn.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of bad people try to use different aspects of whatever, witchcraft or whatever, to try to make themselves seem evil, like Richard Ramirez, that I'm trying not to cuss right now, a piece of trash. Really, he was just backlashing against Christianity.
To an extreme.
With his weird, twisted idea of what Satanism was. And that's just another example of Satanism, like using the word Satanism for that philosophy is in a way like a shock tactic, like a I don't know.
Shock tactic for the shock value. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, so there it is. Two pagans talking about KJ's husband's music video, and just because there's a skull of an animal in it doesn't mean that it is horrible and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And just because there are runes in there does not mean that he's a WS. Maybe he is. Don't know the dude. We don't know. We cannot comment on that. But the runes being in there does not say that, yes, that is what he is. Because by that token, some people might decide that my husband is a WS with the runes on his arm, and he's not. If he was, I would not be with him.
I don't know what I would do myself if I was a WS. I mean, I don't think I would like myself very much. I detest people who think that one race is more superior than another.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense for you though, because I mean, you look white, you can pass, but to me, you look more like, well, having lived in Miami, when I first met you, I thought you looked kind of almost maybe more like Cuban or Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I was thinking about the Colombian thing. Apparently, we actually have family in Colombia, which is funny. My grandmother's maiden name is Arsa, right? And I was in basic training in the army, and my drill sergeant's name, Drill Sergeant Arsa. I asked him before I knew that I had family in Colombia, "Where's your family from?" And I even said on there, because I knew I was going to get attacked, shark attack, if I didn't clarify what the fuck I meant. Not any racist sentiment. I'm Peruvian, but because my grandmother has the same maiden last name as what you have, where is your family from? He said Colombia. I said, oh, okay. My grandma's from Peru. And left it at that. Months later, I get out because of an injury. Talked to my grandmother, told her about Drill Sergeant Arsa in basic. She's like, oh no, we have family in Colombia too. I was like, great. So I could have been related to one of the drill sergeants in my battery. That's
probably
great.
Better that you didn't find out if you were or not, because he might have went harder on you.
He might have, but he wasn't my platoon drill sergeant, so
right.
Not many interactions.
Right. All right, so I don't know. We've been on here for a little while.
Almost an hour.
She's about to attack one of the cats. Wait, they're in here.
Yeah.
That's a noise she only makes when she's gonna attack a kitty.
Don't know.
I don't know either. All right, well, we will get going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. Hit the thing again so I can. All of that. If you're pagan, hi. You can leave a comment. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what it's like to be pagan in America right now. For me, it's kind of scary. A little bit. Or indigenous. If you are indigenous, minority, woman, I mean, queer. That's another thing we have to talk about before we leave.
Oh yeah, the whole queer thing. So KJ has said that she's queer. Clarify that for me, because I'm walking into this whole conversation. I was very confused. To clarify, I was not giving prompt questions. I was just told, go watch this video and tell me if there's any WS in there, because I watched it, I didn't see it.
So apparently KJ says she is queer. Okay, anyone, I'm not going to question it. There are very few occasions where I've questioned. Mm-hmm. I kind of do with this one.
Because she ousted somebody else who was? She's
tried to out a few people, I think in the Duggar family. Most of the queer people I know look down on, they frown heavily upon outing people because that can be life-threatening for that person. And it's just wrong. And I guess in the etiquette of the queer community, I'm dyslexic, so if I say queer instead of the letters, because I don't want to drop them, I don't want to forget anyone.
So switch some of the letters sometimes.
Right. So apparently her pride flag was, according to her, damaged, and the pole was broken or whatever, and then the flag was found out in the street, and then it was stolen or something. Now I saw that flag. Now if I'm queer, okay, if I actually saw evidence that there was something nefarious going on, I would be backing her. But that flag looked like it was weather worn to me. It didn't look like it had been damaged by some random jackass. It didn't. It just didn't. It looked like it was the colors on it were kind of faded,
Which
and it was torn at the seams, as
so
if it had been
high
out.
wind
Yeah, as if it had been out in like winter and summer,
and sun bleach. Yeah.
rain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but she said that her neighbor had tossed stones at her, had threatened her life, but then the story changed to tossing the stones at her dogs, or like the stories keep changing. So she's basically saying that she's being queer bashed, but then she um, tries to walk it back, and then but then there's all these. The queer community already has it bad right now, and does not need anyone else making it worse. Right now, I've lost track of how many transgendered women have been killed this year. I've lost track of how many lesbian women I know of who have been queer bashed, and gay men. This is happening. You don't see it in the news all the time. OTEP has been attacked 2 or 3 times this year, or 2020. When I say this year, I mean 2020 because we're only like 5 days into 2021. So, we don't need someone who appears to live in the land of hetero and doesn't really have a good, and it maybe not even through her own faults, but she doesn't seem to be really part of the queer community in a meaningful way, and doesn't really seem to understand the etiquette within the queer community. But you don't out people. You just don't.
Part of that is common sense. I mean, if you were ever in the closet and you knew how terrified you were to be in the closet and afraid of coming out, why would you force somebody else to go through that terror and then actualize the terror for them?
I spent many of my teen years being terrified that some straight girl would think I was hitting on her and I would end up in the hospital. Like, that's a valid fear. Like, yes, I'm married to a man, but yes, I am also queer. I would like a girlfriend too. That would be awesome. But
I like guys. I like guys and girls, to be honest.
It's,
She's not a cover wife. I do love her.
I am not a beard.
I do love her. We have a child.
Well, a lot of.
If we could have more.
I know, in a lot of like queer history, gay and lesbian women and men and queer people would have
A child as a
significant other and all of that, because the cultural norm is what they were expected to do. But I'm just saying, the year 2020 was hard. It was so hard and scary. Like the past 4 years really have been really scary for queer people, for indigenous people, for minority people, for women, etc. People just
not a white male with money.
Yeah.
You are not okay.
Yeah. So the last thing that the queer community needs is someone making claims like that and then walking it back and then acting like it's okay. It's not okay. That really, I was so disgusted. I was on Charlotte's live earlier today, and when they were talking about all of that more in depth, and I saw some of the things in chat, there were things I didn't know. I'm absolutely disgusted by that. There was something about her trying to out, he's a beauty guru, Jeffree Star. Something about that he might have HIV/AIDS. It is none of your fucking business. It's nobody's business. I don't care who you are. Anyone's status of HIV/AIDS is not your business unless you are in a intimate relationship with them and they need to disclose that to you. That's you don't speculate on that. Who the hell are you to do that? Who is anyone to do that? That is
And even if you're told that in confidence by whomever, keep it to your fucking self.
some things just aren't meant for public consumption. They're just not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how you don't know if that person could have contracted it and just uh, got their diagnosis like a week before and they're still acclimating. That is heartless and cold. Don't do that to anyone. Don't anyone do that to anyone. And that's, I don't understand. I was so disgusted earlier today that I left Charlotte's chat. I was like, I'm disgusted. I need
Not with
I'm just-
Charlotte, but just
No.
by the information that she came upon during the live.
I don't know if it was Charlotte who said it or if it was someone in chat. I don't remember. I just immediately became angry. Not at Charlotte or anyone in the chat at all. It was just kind of overwhelming. It's been an overwhelming year or 4, really.
Yeah.
It's just been a lot, and I don't know. I'm almost to the point of just being done with white people, and I know I look white, but half my family's indigenous, and I'm like, I was raised in 2 worlds, so
I will happily claim the Hispanic portion of my blood faster than I will claim the white portion of my blood, which is a roughly 25 to 75 split. So, tells you a lot about how I feel.
I don't understand this country anymore. I mean, I never really did to begin with, but it just, I don't know. Anywho. People are probably watching like the news and all that stuff right now too. And to
Yeah.
have her, I don't know, to all the people in DC, to all the people in Tennessee.
Wait, what's going on in Tennessee?
Tennessee had that bombing.
Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the year, that's right.
The people in Tennessee were so kind to me. I was in Tennessee for like a week after Katrina or something like that. And they were just so worried about everyone in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And gave me stuff to take with me back to New Orleans. Like
I like Tennessee. Tennessee was nice.
it was one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had. Just weird, but good. Yeah, they were just good people.
I went there after Katrina by years.
Mm.
I went there back in like 2013, 2014. This was when I went to Tennessee. It was a great time.
It's beautiful up there.
Mm.
No, but I was in a Walmart, I think it was, and they had a thing where if you showed your ID, you would get a discount on, like, I don't remember if it was certain supplies or everything you bought or something. I don't remember. So I showed him my ID, and the lady behind the register just busted out crying. And I'm like, "Are you okay? What's happening?" And she was like, "I'm so sorry for what's happening to New Orleans." And I was like, No, it's okay.
Like, I'm fine.
Like
I'm
New
safe
Orleans,
right now.
New Orleans is strong people. They're gonna come back, okay? New Orleans is a strong city. It's been through a lot.
We burned down twice in 300 years.
And then plagues.
And plagues.
All kinds of stuff. So, but she had such an emotional reaction that other people ahead of me in line and behind me in line and just all over, like, came over. Because it's a small town, so I think, like, it's one of those everyone knew everyone kind of things. And she said, she's from New Orleans. And I was coming back to New Orleans, so I had, like, water, baby wipes, diapers, canned goods. I was bringing supplies back with me. And people would just grab this or that. And I was like, wait, that's mine. And they were like, don't worry about it. And they would pay for it. And I'm like, I have money. You don't have to do that. Like, and then it was the weirdest thing. Like, they would not let me take the groceries myself and load them in my car.
That's weird.
All the elderly people came together and they packed my car for me and they put more stuff in it. They took stuff out of their
own groceries?
Yeah. like water, whatever, and put it in there, toilet paper, whatever. And I was like, y'all don't have to do this. Like, you know,
It's
and
hard to make her cry, so she probably wasn't crying during this.
no, I did cry.
Really?
There was some,
It's surprising.
it was such a hard time after Katrina. And I felt so guilty for leaving and not staying that it was just rough. But the way that the people in Tennessee were, you know, with like right there on the spot donating, you know, and it was amazing. It was like, it was a beautiful thing to see, and I wish I had photos because it was black people, it was white people, it was just people coming together and donating to help another city.
Because she wasn't coming back with supplies just for her. She was
No.
coming back with supplies because you had a job in the hotel.
Yeah, I was working security in the hotel, so
Mhm.
I mean, at the time, yeah, I mean, I had diapers of various sizes and all this, you know, because I knew they were going to probably be needed, um, you know, and the baby wipes, the water wasn't running. So, you know, you have to keep yourself clean some kind of way.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, all those supplies weren't for me. In fact, most of the canned goods and all of that I gave to the people who needed it, you know, and then I ate MREs for I don't know how long.
Like a month.
I think it was more than that. I don't know. It felt like forever. Can you check her real quick?
Yeah.
You're
Closer.
so yeah. Anybody want to say anything? I know we are light on people right now. Any questions? Comments? Um, and if y'all want, we can do another live like this where we can answer questions for, you know, about paganism or whatever. That's fine. I know a bunch of different people who walk different spiritual paths here. So I can, you know, I have a good base of people to ask questions. Um, so, yeah, if you watched the replay, thank you. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, follow, whatever. Do all the stuff with the stuff and junk. And things. Don't forget the things. Stuff and junk and things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably, I don't know, thinking I might do these lives once a day, just because sometimes we actually get people that come in here and talk with us.
Not today.
Well, I have you here now, so
Oh,
I can talk to you today.
Sure.
So that's good.
I was at work yesterday.
Yeah, it's good to have you here to talk about the, you know, Norse path.
I'm an open book. I won't pressure you. You ask me a question, I'll answer that.
Right on, right on. So I told him, you know, if anyone wants to do another live like this where we answer questions about that, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of last minute, you know. I was like, hey, let's do this. What have you? Yeah, I think we might close this out. It's been a little over an hour.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. I hope y'all are safe out there. My heart still goes out to Tennessee. I hope they're doing okay up there. And DC.
I don't know who my heart's going out to in DC.
Well, I mean,
part of me wants to say the police officers because they're actually not really retaliating like they have been in other cities.
I mean,
Actually,
what they did to Black Lives Matter protesters in DC, But then look at Black Lives Matter, y'all. If you don't like that, you can unsubscribe. Don't like. Don't do the things. Just don't bother.
If you are WS, fuck off.
Yes. Black Lives Matter. Indigenous lives matter. Women's lives matter. Trans lives matter.
Let's wait on that
Um,
Queer lives matter.
mm.
Just get the broad term out there. Queer lives matter.
All right, look, if anyone messes with OSEP again, she is my future wife. Strictly platonic from a distance. I will have to have a word with you, sir, and I will verbally abuse you into submission. I'm very good at that.
No comment.
Don't mess with OSEP now. There's a line.
Life goals.
Don't-
Life goals.
Don't cross it. Okay? Damn, people. Just saying. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.
Right?
Bye. Be safe out there. Oh, you have the right to say no.
Yes.
Your no should be respected.
Absolutely.
If it is not, cut that bitch out of your life. You don't need that.
Fuck 'em.